What do you think about copying? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Well, I am here to tell you that it can be a very good thing. And I'm not talking about copying somebody else's work and turning it in as if it was your own. In school, we call that plagiarism. I'm not talking about copying intellectual property, but I am talking about imitation. It is, after all, the highest form of flattery, right? Hi, I'm Dr. B, the Creativity Sensei, and I can teach you to transform your creativity, boost your confidence, and find joy in your work. Today I want to talk about a method to improve whatever art form you work in. Now, if you're a writer, you probably have some favorite authors. This is a great place to start. And I'm not telling you to copy their work, but what I am telling you is if you use their work, the work that you love so much, as a model, you will improve. Think of it as them being your mentor. A mentor is a fabulous way for you to elevate whatever it is that you do. A mentor can guide you, teach you, cajole you. When you imitate somebody else's work, it gives you the opportunity to experience what it's like to be that person. One of my favorite authors is Ernest Hemingway. I love his style. I love his short, concise sentences. I love how he can convey an idea with a precision of words. He doesn't have to use a lot of words, and his sentences aren't complicated. And if I wanted to write a short story like Hills Like White Elephants, one of my favorites of all time, then I would want to study how he structures his sentences. Have several lines of dialogue back and forth. Do not include the tags. He said, she said, Mary yelled, John replied. Try it out. Also, try out the length of the sentences. Count the number of words. And then create your own story and use that as a framework. If Hemingway's sentences typically have 8 or 10 words, well, then you have to limit your words to 8 or 10. How much real estate does he put into description? What types of descriptive words does he use? In that short story, and in another short story of his called A Clean, Well-Lighted Place, it is often difficult to tell which character is speaking. That's intentional. Focus on that one element in one of your short stories. For this exercise, begin by copying over about a paragraph of the master that you want to imitate. So this could work for any author. Are you a fan of Suzanne Collins or Joan Didion or Stephen King? Pick a paragraph that speaks to you. And literally, it works best if you do this by hand because it's going to give the brain a chance to stop and think. Begin at the beginning. Read the sentence. Read a phrase. Read a word. And write that word. This is a trick that I used when I was studying copywriting. In that course, the instructors wanted us to hand copy a sales letter 10 times. Now, when you do something like that, it becomes automatic. It will trigger something within your brain. It will embed itself there. I don't know if anybody remembers the Star Trek movie, I think it was The Wrath of Khan, where they put a little worm kind of creature into somebody's ear. Was it Chekhov? Anyway, that's what we're going for here, to embed this practice into your writing arsenal. Then, without looking at the original again, I want you to write your own paragraph, mimicking the style. If you're copying Stephen King, are you writing horror? Maybe you can switch it up and write an action adventure, but still use this same structure. This imitation is not limited to the literary arts. The practice will work in any art form. If you have ever been to a museum of fine art where there are students close by, you will often find a group of students who are sitting with their sketchbooks, staring at works of the masters hanging on the walls. They are studying how these masters have done their work. Are you a visual artist? You can do the same thing. You don't even have to go to a museum. Maybe you get magazines like Art Review or the American Artist. This could be a rich resource for you. Thumb through the pages until you find a piece that moves you. It doesn't have to be in the style that you think that you're working. The exercise of imitation is designed to stretch your own abilities. Remember, we're looking for a mentor. You don't necessarily like or want to work in that style, but give it a shot anyway. Very often, you will find a technique. Maybe it's a brush stroke. Maybe it's a shape or the use of line, color, composition. If you can, yes, go to a museum. And if they allow, bring your sketchbook, have a seat, and indulge yourself. So what about other art forms? It certainly can work in fiber art. You might find a piece of clothing by a certain designer. Go to a thrift store. and find something that you really like. Focus on one element of it. Maybe it's the stitching, top stitching. Maybe it's simple seam design. Try it out with some scrap fabric. Buy an extra garment while you're there. I find that buying maternity clothes gives me a lot of fabric to work with, and it's very fun to cut something like that up for my own purposes. Industrial arts. Is there an artist working in glass or clay or wood that you admire? Maybe focus on the joy. Finish whatever it is that you appreciate. Don't try to imitate the entire piece. Focus on one small area. This will give you practice. Environmental arts. Maybe look at Pinterest for some room designs. A kitchen, table and chair. And then go and rearrange furniture in your own house or in a client's house or in a friend's house, trying to imitate that same. This can work for gardening as well. If you're a gardener, you probably already receive seed catalogs. Think about how you could imitate something in there. A corner of your garden, an area of a stone wall. Culinary arts, one of my favorites. Find a cookbook from your favorite chef. There are so many to choose from. Follow the recipe and then go again. The next night, change out a few of the items. If it suggests using rice, try working with potatoes. If the recipe is for fish, substitute chicken. The whole purpose of this is to make their recipe yours, to suit your palate and your taste. Remember, practice. That's what we're doing. Copying another person's work is not a bad thing. Imitating while you are learning and practicing will elevate what you do. It's as if you have an absent mentor. They do not have to be alive. That's it for today. Another walkabout. A bientôt.